Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Forever Forward podcast. Today we are tackling a topic that might not be the talk of the town, but can be a powerful element in your transition to a more efficient and reliable maintenance regime. In this episode, Umesh and I will be exploring the state of data quality in maintenance, uncover the challenges FM teams face with data quality, and most importantly, some practical solutions to clean things up. So, Mesh, let's get down to business and start today's episode. I have three questions for you, and this will be like a rapid fire round. Instead, you'll have a little bit more time than just a few seconds. So, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's give it a shot. This is an interesting topic, and I can't wait to discuss further on this.
Okay. Here's my first question. How important is data quality and what is its current state in the operations and maintenance landscape? You could probably start by talking about, like, by addressing why we are even talking about it.
Makes sense. Thanks for the first question, Sid. You're absolutely right. I think it's important to understand why are we even talking about it right now. Uh, like we covered in the earlier the episode and in the number of other content pieces that we've taken out is if you look at conventionally the way operations and maintenance has been run in built environment, it's been planned or reactive, where generally teams don't tend to look for data evidences. They don't they don't make decisions based on data, and hence the quality doesn't even matter, right? Like for you, the quality of something matters when you're looking for it, but when you're not looking for it, like why would you even bother about the data quality? And that's what I would say is the current state. But now that people are wanting to move to data-led operations and maintenance, right? People are realizing that they have to look at data, and once they are looking at data, they're realizing that okay, we don't have the right quality of data. I mean, it was known consciously or subconsciously, but it's just become a bigger problem right now. That has come to the forte, and people are saying, okay, this is something that we would need to address.
Right. So, but what kind of data are we talking about here? And why, what are the factors that can cause its quality to suffer?
So I think there are two distinct kinds of data sets that might be relevant when you look at classified, just very broadly. One is what goes into CMMS when you are doing your plant maintenance or inspections or any form of interaction that a technician or an engineer has with the asset, and the kind of data that they capture. It could be numbers, it could be visuals, it could be their observations, text, so on and so forth, which is what usually goes into the CMMS. The other kind of a data is what is quantitative, more time series, which is either from the IoT sensor or building management systems, so on and so forth. But the one that in question over here is the one that is in CMMS. That's a lot of data available. Imagine a company that's been in doing FM hard services for a decade. The amount of data that they would have there on the systems is incredibly high because they've been running those planned maintenance, so on and so forth. But again, as I said, that quality is not what's there. And why is it important? So there are two things. One, when you look at a lot of facilities which do not have the data infrastructure there, let's say there's a facility which does not have a lot of data points on BMS, has no IoT data points, so on and so forth. But you could still utilize, if you're running a maintenance for 12 months, 12 times a year, you still can have high quality data points collected at source while you're doing the planned maintenance. But that's not been happening. And imagine if you've been doing 5 years, you would have still high quality 60 data points, which is not the ideal scenario, but then you still get, if you're on a scale of 1 to 10, you would still end up being at 5, 6 versus being at 10, right? So that's there. The why has it become a data quality issue is conventionally, again, going back, the FM company only had to demonstrate that they've done the task, right? Like the maintenance has been done, inspection has been done, but how effectively has it been done? Has it caused a positive difference to the performance of the asset? That was nowhere to be proven per se, right? It could all be up in the air. Like you could do it in a multiple manner, but largely that's what I feel is that because that focus was that I have 100 tasks and I need to demonstrate that 100 tasks have been done, and that's it. And what's the easy way? You have a checklist. You simply mark done, check. and that's it. Now that doesn't, while that solves the problem, again, as I say, all of these are problems today only because everyone is wanting to move to data led. I mean, not everyone is wanting to move to data led. What everyone is wanting from asset owners to FM companies means that everything has to be data led, and that is why we are talking about this problem. And yeah, so you can't really do much when you have a tick box where someone has just ticked that they've done something, but you don't even know why, what was done, how was it done, why was it done. I always take this classic example, go back to air handling unit on the filters. That's one of the classic. It says clean or change the filter as needed, right? I mean, according to me, there are three distinct action items there. One is you got to make a decision whether you want to clean or change. And inherently, to clean or change, you would probably have a measurement of the differential pressure. And then you would say, okay, because the differential pressure is this, I mean, I'm deciding that cleaning is going to be sufficing. I don't need to change. But you know what you would find on the CMMS? Done. Now, what have you done? Like, we don't know. And in case if you have changed, have you taken the measurement of what the reading of the fan was before and after, so that you can really figure out the impact, so on and so forth. So yeah, this one's not a rapid fire kind of a response to your question, but yeah, a long one.
No, that's quite all right. So how can organizations really up their game and ensure that ensure high quality data within their maintenance tools and systems?
So this one is tricky, Siddharth. I mean, the for incumbents, the ones tier one FM companies, I think what they have is a technical debt, and that will remain with them. Now, to come out of the debt is going to require huge investment. I don't know whether CIOs, CTOs are even, or let's say the PNL holders are even in a position to look at that. So the best way is to not add to the technical debt and say, okay, henceforth we are not going to contribute to the technical debt. The debt that's there is there. The data quality debt or whatever is there is there. We'll take care of it when we think we need to. So the best recommendation I could do is handle it at source henceforth. Devise a strategy in which your it also would require change management, honestly. So that's why, but do it at source, which means you now henceforth, whenever your inspections or your checklists are being filled, you will have more data to be taken, or not more, but the relevant data points must be taken, the relevant context must be given, and there's a very fine path that one needs to travel. You don't need to you don't need to make sure that the technicians are not having to take a lot of data points, and hence it needs to be slightly more intelligent, recommendative in nature, where you're giving a recommendation and saying, okay, in this question, this is what I think needs to be taken, and it's dynamic. So the best way is to be able to handle that at source. Does the CMMS they use allow them to do that? If not, and no, changing a CMMS is not like a moving from one telecom operator to the other. You are kind of at least wedded to that system for some time. So you will have to look beyond and say, okay, is there an application or is a process I could look outside of the CMMS, but that complements the CMMS. So that's my recommendation. If you're a tier 2 FM company, or let's say emerging FM company, I would straight away say that drop the CMMS that does not allow you to take data quality at source, because you don't want to be using a CMMS, or at least the core of your operations and maintenance, where data quality inherently isn't taken care of, because emerging FM companies can't afford to build that debt for themselves, which they probably would not be able to get out of in course of time. TM and FM companies still have a lot of capital at disposal, so they can really relatively easily get out of it. They will still have to invest. The other way to do it, and A has to be at source, but the other way to look at it and connect it is it's a less popular belief, by the way, is every facility management company, invariably slightly larger in operations, has a concept called command center, where there are a bunch of people who basically schedule and allocate tasks, coordinate on a lot of things that have to happen, purely from the last mile connectivity point of it. Think of it as from logistics point of view. You have a lot of shipments to be done, you're coordinating who's going to ship where, so on and so forth. One way is to be able to look at saying, can we automate a lot of those processes and free up the time from the people who've been doing this process, and then give them the responsibility of saying, okay, up your game. We want you to be the custodians of data quality, right? It's a core job that they should have been doing, but normally in the madness of everything that happens under a business as usual scenario, it goes for a task. So I think those are two recommendations I would have. Handle it at source. Make sure that you free up the time of your control command center colleagues. Ask them to up the game, and also basically ensure that they act more like a data quality custodians than they do at this point in time.
Right. I I have a lot to learn from this episode, and I'll play it back and listen to it again. And I am sure the listeners will have to. So that's
Hopefully.
it from me and my questions. But just to wrap up this episode with a summary, with a key takeaway for our listeners.
I think I would say the quick wrap up is going to be that the data quality in your CMMS is now extremely important. If you've not been paying attention, start to pay attention. If you're an emerging FM company, start to look at a CMMS that allows you to build that at source, and address that at source as a part of the offering. And if you're an incumbent FM company, you cannot allow your data quality debt to grow. So figure out processes and steps to ensure that it is taken care of before it becomes an even bigger issue. But it is an issue that needs to be addressed. Many realize it subconsciously, very few realize it consciously. And if there is someone in your team who realizes this consciously, please give that person, him or her, the space to basically address this within the entire organization. So that would be my quick takeaway from the episode.
Yeah, that was quick. Uh, According to our rapid fire round.
Perfect.
So
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the next one.
same here. Bye.
Bye.